Welcome back. We are on the third loop of the fourth arc of ReZero. Subaru just got choked out by Garfield, so now we're going to see what happens next. Subaru wakes up, but his eyes are covered. His hands and legs are tied. You awake now? I'll untie you. And just so you know, it ain't no use crying for help. Somebody help! I just said it won't work. This is a part of Sanctuary no one knows about. The novel said that it was 2 hours from Sanctuary to the barrier. And when I first heard that, I thought that was a bit much. But after hearing this, I think that may be accurate. The light novel says that he was out for about half a day. The web novel is different enough that if I include it, this video is going to be super long. So I'm just going to take all the web novel stuff out and put that in the next video. So assume for this video, the rest of it is just anime and light novel only. Ain't no need to save someone who wants to die, right? This comment is probably in reference to his attitude right now. Despite the situation, he's acting like it's not a huge deal. But that's just my guess. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are pretty famous for being a bunch of weirdos. Wait, I seriously don't play dumb. There's miasma oozing out of every pore of your body. You're a witch cultist. The smell's been stronger since you came out of the graveyard. Not that many people have this much miasma. I was gonna let you go if you swore you wouldn't try anything. But you want to undergo the trial in the princess's place? That ain't no joke. I think this is the first time that it has been called miasma, but it's pretty obvious what he's talking about. He says that not many people have the smell. And in the light novel, he says that some people have the miasma, but Subaru has a fuck ton of it. I have no idea how he knows that some people have the witch's scent. I mean, he's lived his entire life within Sanctuary. My guess, later on, Roswell will make a comment that he has fought against the cult before. So maybe they've shown up at Sanctuary and he has fought them at some point. That may be a side story that I just haven't read yet. Or maybe I'm just making a big guess on this. It would make sense. They're at a place where the witch resided. One of the witches resided at one point. So the witch cult attacking it at sometime in the past would kind of make sense. So if he has seen those people and realized that they have some of the witch's scent on them, then I can see why he's come to the conclusion that some people just have the witch's scent. And if he's fought them in the past, then he knows what the scent is. He can connect it back to Subaru. So it makes sense that he thinks that they are together. What doesn't make sense is that he was just willing to let Subaru do whatever for the most part. Like he wasn't planning on attacking him or anything. I guess he doesn't have the same hate for the witch cult that most people have, which kind of lines up with what happened in the web novel before. He let Subaru walk around Sanctuary all he wanted, even though he thought that Subaru was a part of the witch cult. He probably sees the cult as a problem, but doesn't think they're a huge threat. Or more likely, he thinks that he can handle whatever Subaru brings. As long as he doesn't let Subaru just do whatever he wants, it'll be fine. Garfield throws him to the ground. What is it you want to do in the graveyard? What are you planning? Why trap me here then? Why not kill me? Ha, because you got a way of winning people over. I don't want to kill you and have it blow up in my face like the fall of Tesla Fortress. Then what are you going to do with me? For now, I'll say it's all up to Amelia. Subaru opens his mouth wide, sticks out his tongue, and tries to bite it off. Not happening. I won't let you kill yourself either. I don't have a damn clue about what you're thinking, but what pisses me off more than anything is that attitude of yours. You used all those big fancy words, made this excuse and that, but where was there any concern for Lady Amelia in that attitude, huh? Your eyes look just like that of that Roswell bastard's eyes. You don't see anything except yourself. The last couple of sentences there are a mix between the anime and the light novel. I think that does a better job of explaining what Garfield means. And Subaru can't really say anything about this either because of his thoughts whenever he first woke up for this loop. On some level, I think he agrees that he is being selfish. This is the second time something like this has happened. In the second loop, Rem killed him several times because of the way he smelled. So, in that respect, Garfield is actually treating him a lot better than Rem. I'm guessing he won't kill Subaru specifically because of Roswaal. I can't really see him being worried about anybody else. So Garfield probably thinks that Roswaal will retaliate if Subaru dies. But that's just a guess. And it's a very flimsy defense, in my opinion, because I think that Garfield is only doing this because he thinks that Subaru can be contained. Subaru! Subaru! Ram, anything? Sadly, no. It's been a while, so as a reminder, Ram can use clairvoyance to see through the eyes of animals, insects, etc. Anyone who wanders into the Lost Forest at night alone ain't gonna make it back easily. Alone? Never mind. Puck, why won't you come out? Hey, bro, come with me for a sec. Don't go running your mouth. As long as you don't. Otto was there when Subaru went with him, so that comment was a little weird. Garfield should have said that they talked and then split up and he didn't know where Subaru went. That would have at least made him look a little bit better. But maybe I shouldn't be giving advice on how to lie. Amelia's comment will be important for later. Well, not the comment itself. She was barely holding it together before, and now she doesn't have Puck or Subaru. That will be important for later. Oh, I went with the anime text, but just in case it's not clear, Garfield was offering him a crystal for Otto to keep quiet. And I have no idea how much that crystal is worth, but going by Otto's reaction, I would imagine it's worth a good amount of money. And Garfield threatened to hurt him. There's also that. But that doesn't come back up, or doesn't come up until later. In the anime, Subaru thinks he has 5 days. Or more accurately, the longest it's been is 5 days, which might be different from my totals. I put it at 4 days from the reset point, and I'm not sure if he's counting from the start of the day or maybe he's counting to the next day after the mansion attack. It does actually line up better for the web novel, so maybe this is just a carryover from there, even though the timelines are a day off. I'm just going to keep it at 4 days from the reset point for now, but this may change. Time passes. Subaru tries to free himself, but nothing works. He manages to get one eye free, but hears someone coming, so he covers it back up. The person says nothing, feeds him soup, and then leaves. We'll get the timeline here in a little bit, so I'm keeping it vague for now. In the novels, he doesn't see Ryuzu whenever she comes in. And I guess in the anime, he doesn't really see her either. We see her, but Subaru is blindfolded every time somebody comes in. We don't get a lot of info, so I'm throwing this Ryuzu into the list at the bottom. It could be the same one that Subaru saw at the beginning, or it could be a completely different one. We really don't know. During his downtime here, he thinks about a few different things. First, he thinks about Beatrice. Despite everything that's happened, he doesn't really think ill of her. He just wants to figure out what the fuck is happening. And that's not really surprising coming from Subaru. He is quick to forgive everybody. Second, he replays the past events over and over. And by that I mean every death from every loop. So he is sitting there, tied up, can't move, can't really do anything, while he mentally tortures himself. And to go along with that, third, and this is mostly in the light novel, he realizes that this is the first time he has truly felt alone. This is not the first time that he's been alone, obviously, but this is the first time that he is truly focusing on it. I mean, even back when he was in the Witch Cult cave in the last arc, when he was by himself with Rem's, well, what he thought was Rem's dead body, he was so pissed that he wasn't focused on the fact that he was by himself, that he was alone. Now he has nothing else to focus on other than the fact that he is failing to save everybody and there's really nothing he can do about it. So yeah, he's not doing well. I suspected you would be in a miserable state, but this is even worse than I thought. Oh, you need to keep quiet. I'm walking a dangerous tightrope here. I don't want the lookout catching me now. You and I both never know when to quit, do we? Otto frees Subaru from his bindings. In any case, I'm relieved you're still alive, Natsuki. After the shock fades, Subaru finally speaks. How long has it been? 3 days. It's nighttime and the time of the trial. So this puts us right before the attack on the mansion. Technically, there's enough time for Subaru to make it back, but he'd be cutting it really close. What's happened while I've been away? Word of your disappearance spread quickly, causing panic throughout the community. Amelia has especially struggled to keep her composure. She actually declined to attempt the trial the next day. Everyone has been looking all over for you, but with no luck. The Margrave told Amelia that they should prioritize the liberation of Sanctuary, so that a search party can be assembled. Did Amelia agree to that? She said the Margrave gave her some sort of formal oath. I don't know if we ever get the details of this oath. My guess is that it's something super straightforward. Roswell will do everything that he can to find Subaru, as long as Amelia does everything that she can to complete the trials. There's one thing that keeps bothering me. Why do you keep talking as if you've heard all this secondhand? It's rather hard to say, honestly. The truth is, Garfield also has his eyes on me, so I've been running all around trying to avoid him. This is where we learned that Garfield threatened Otto, in addition to the bribe, neither of which worked, apparently. In the light novel, Otto mentions the miasma, and he doesn't notice it on Subaru or anything. And this is the first time that a normal person has brought this up. Well, it's questionable how normal Otto is, I guess. Maybe I should say this is the first time that a person who can't smell it is mentioning it. But we don't get a whole lot of info just yet, so I'm going to wait. Why did you do that? I'm really grateful that you came to save me. Frankly, until I saw your face, I thought I'd be better off dead. But I can't see why you'd want to help me. To be clear, Subaru has been here for 3 days, thinking about all the death that he has seen, and wanting to die so that he can reset. Not once has he thought about Otto, so Otto just randomly showing up here is surprising. Subaru has a lot on his mind, a lot of shit that he has to fix. So Otto not showing up as a potential problem is a good thing. It's been one less problem that Subaru has had to fix. But him showing up here out of nowhere while Subaru is a little tense makes him suspicious. Listen, Natsuki, is there really such a strange thing to try and help a friend? Huh? Why are you standing there like a statue with such a shocked face? Well, you brought up someone I don't even know out of the blue. I don't know who Eugene is. You got every single part of that wrong. I didn't say Eugene, I said friend. This makes more sense in Japanese. Eugene is one word for friend. That's the word that Otto used, and Subaru took that opportunity to deflect. After that, Otto switched to using Tomodachi. Friend? Who is whose friend? You are my friend. Though I'm not very fond of the way you treat me, but I figure that's just how close of friends we are. I get it now. Otto, you wanted to be friends with me. Okay, fine. I was stupid to even say it. I knew you would laugh at me. Well, I mean, how could I not laugh? You're not the one who's crazy. I'm just floored by my own stupidity. I'm so exasperated with myself, I just have to laugh. Sorry. You really are my friend, Otto. Thanks for coming to save me. Subaru made a friend! Honestly, Subaru has made so many friends since coming to this world. His charisma is crazy high. If he was playing D&D, he'd be playing a bard or something right now. Except that I've heard him try to rap, so maybe not. So maybe a sorcerer? Except that he's shit with magic, so that doesn't work either. He's playing a warlock. He just needs to make a contract. With Puck. After they get outside in the light novel, they talk about how weird the building is. It has a weird smell to it. Subaru says it's something like ammonia, and bugs and animals and things avoid the whole place, which is ironically how Otto managed to find it. It is a quiet place in the middle of a forest. Subaru suggests going and telling everybody what happened, but Otto shuts that down. He says that with everything being a lot tense at the moment, if they hear that Garfield has done all of this, then they will most likely riot or something like that. This was actually one point that Subaru used in the first loop to convince Garfield to let them leave, and now it's turning out it might actually be a problem. Garfield is at the graveyard right now, so we can get you out of the barrier. But the question is whether that's even possible. No need to worry about that. I have a very reliable helper lined up. I was starting to wonder if you'd arrive before I became an old granny. Of course, even if I were an old granny, I'd still be cute. You're Otto's helper? Helper makes it sound as if we're equals. My orders from Roswell were to assist you. It was my own decision to seek out Otto to meet that end. Ah, so he measured up to your standards. That is high praise from Ram, actually. I don't think we've gotten this order yet, but it does come back up often. She is told to help Subaru, but isn't given any details. Everything that she does is going to be up to her, and what she decides to do is going to be what she thinks is best in that moment. So in the future, when she changes it and does something different, that's why, and it does make sense. I just thought if there was no one I could handily use, you would end up dying in vain. Crap, I can't deny that. For someone who's been confined, you seem awfully composed. Well, I did have a good laugh. We're going to escape. Garf can't leave the graveyard while Amelia's attempting the trial. We'll leave while his attention is turned away from us. No, running away can wait until later. I'm not saying we won't run, but this is a golden opportunity. I'm going to do what I was trying to do 3 days ago. Ram is very smart. She has to know that Garfield can physically leave the barrier. My guess is that she knows that mentally he can't. At least that's my own headcanon. I feel like Subaru is being a little too flippant about the situation that he's in, but he decides to postpone leaving and goes to talk to Roswell. I won't let you hide anything from me this time. A reunion after 3 days. A miraculous return at that. Quit joking around. I don't have time to put up with your dumb games right now. I want to ask you something with the assumption that my leaving the sanctuary is a given. Of course, if I have the answer, I would try to give it to you. Is Beatrice a member of the witch cult? What made you suspect that? I saw her in the Forbidden Library. She had a gospel. If she's a witch cultist, that makes her my enemy. Those are strong words. Words that took true resolve to say. But if you say them with such a pained expression, they're not very convincing. So I would like to offer you a helping hand. It is true that what you saw was something closely resembling a gospel. It makes sense that you would suspect it to be one. But you have my word that she is not a witch cultist. That book of hers is not a gospel. It is a magical text that tells the future, of which only 2 copies exist in the world. It is the closest there is to the Tome of Wisdom. Tome of Wisdom? But she definitely said it was a gospel. That's because it lacks an official name. Thus, it is given the same name used for the defective versions. And the light novel Roswell says that he has had to deal with the witch cult before, and he's come across bits and pieces of their gospels amongst the charred remains. And out of everything that he has said so far, this is the one thing I believe the most. There are 3 reasons that he thinks their gospels are defective. How much it tells you is very limited. What it does tell you is very vague and open to interpretation, and only the owner can read it. I'm not sure how Roswell figured out the first 2. It kind of sounds right, and it kind of doesn't. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. The last one, Subaru has had experience with. Whenever he got Sloth's Gospel in the last arc, he couldn't read it himself. I don't think that Roswell is lying here, but I'm also not about to completely trust him at his word. So for now, I will take this as clues to how the Gospels may work. In the light novel, Roswell talks about the Tome of Wisdom and gets super pissed. He doesn't say anything, he just starts releasing a threatening aura, and he apologizes and says that he got caught up in a memory. So that's definitely something that's going to end up coming back up later. Defective. Well, as long as she's not a witch cultist, it's fine. The question is, how can I get her to help me? Roswell said, you are to ask the question. If you say this to Beatrice, she should respond. He's heard this before, but he forgot. And in fairness, he did die before he got to see her in that loop, and then the next time he did see her, he was already half dead. So I guess I won't blame him for not remembering. You mean... I see. It appears these words are insufficient for you. Then tell her this. I am that person. Get Beatrice to ask that question, and then answer it affirmatively. If you do that, she will, without a doubt, ally with you. How can you be so sure? Because it is in the contract that she is powerless to override. Contract? If this doesn't work, I'm going to punch you right in the face. Very well, do as you please. Once you have allied with Beatrice, she will surely be a great help with solving all the problems concerning the sanctuary. Roswell, one last question. You're not actually our enemy, are you? Of course not. I am an ally to all of you. I am not convinced. In the light novel, we learned that Beatrice's contract is not with Roswell. And I think it's pretty obvious that the contract is with whoever this person is that she calls Mother. And we'll learn about her when you're older. I keep forgetting about my reoccurring reference there. Did you get any answers? Yeah, quite a few. I think all the pieces fit together now. No they don't. At least not yet. We're not even halfway through this fucking arc. What's the plan? A carriage would be too conspicuous. You and I will have to ride together. Is that alright? I guess you'd be in danger if you stayed here too. Once we're all out of the sanctuary, our first stop is the mansion. We can't leave Frederica to fend for herself, but if it's just the two of us... In other words, you want me to go with you. Well, if you would, I mean, I'd feel a lot better. I suppose I must. Roswell did order me to help you, after all. Having a cozy little chat while you take a walk. Well, since I'm here, why don't you let me in on the fun? The brighter it shines, the further away the Mar Griza goes, as they say. That last line is directed at Patra Shea. She starts growling and gets ready to fight as soon as Garfield gets close. And he has respect for her that she's ready to throw down, even though last time she very easily got her ass kicked. And I still have no idea what he is referencing. I feel like that's the case for most of what he says. Shouldn't you be overseeing the trial right now? My job is to protect the sanctuary. So if the sanctuary is under threat, you better believe I have time. You can't escape the eyes of this sanctuary. Eyes of the sanctuary? I'm just saying your little plans were leaked. None of the versions explain what he means here. My guess is that it goes back to a comment that Otto said back when he was rescuing Subaru. He was trying to avoid the lookout. We know that there are multiple Ryuzus, so it wouldn't be surprising if one of them saw Subaru escaping and then went to tell Garfield. And then Subaru went to go waste time talking to Roswell, so the Ryuzu had plenty of time to get to Roswell to tell him what happened. From there, Garfield would just need to go back to the place that he was holding Subaru and follow the smell. And all of this lines up, but again, none of this is stated anywhere that I saw, so it's just a guess. So, where do you think you're heading off to? We're going to get Borosu outside of Sanctuary. He'll cause trouble for you if he stays, so I'd say this works out perfectly for you. Think you know what's going on in my head, do ya? Damn, there ain't nothing lovable about you at all. That's what I like about you, though. I had to include that line. Both Frederica and Garfield say the exact same thing to her. So can we assume that you're agreeing to let us go? What? I know damn well it'd be a pain in my ass to keep you here. The thing is, to put it another way, Hoshin was banned in Sunset. I still don't understand your idioms at all, but as long as you realize what's up with you guys. Given your lack of education, you may not have understood that. The saying is based on a tale of how a legendary trader, Hoshin, brought a small nation of Ban into ruin. He gives your opponent two options: surrender or face an all-out attack. And the light novel Garfield says, out loud, that Subaru smells like the witch. And it gets brushed over pretty quick because of the threats that he's making. But it is crazy that nobody mentions this at any point. Garf, are you so dumb that you don't understand me? You're the one who'd better watch what you say, Ram. Just 'cause I'm hot for you don't mean I won't twist your arm. Take him back to where he was. Keeping me here is bad news, so if you can just let me go right now for free, why wouldn't you? I don't know what the hell you are. That means I can't let you outside. That decision may upset Roswell. How much do you think he cares about this place? About the old hag or anyone else? He doesn't give a damn. Not about you either, Ram. Roswell is... Shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't give a shit about that bastard. We're done here. Hand him over. Go. Otto picks up Subaru while Ram fires off a wind spell at Garfield. He jumps back to avoid the attack. You can't afford to be distracted, Garf. Get out of my way. Yeah, so the escape doesn't go as smoothly as they had planned. I'm gonna go ahead and say that bringing up Roswell was probably not the best plan. Hang on, Otto. Why? You would have been in danger if we stayed. Ram and I made this decision together. Otto whistles. What are you doing? Something I was hoping I wouldn't have to resort to. Lights appear in the forest, creating a trail for them to follow. The people of Arlon? What did I tell you? I have some very reliable helpers. Why are they doing something so crazy? That's not very convincing coming from you. The people helping right now doesn't really match up with the whole they'll riot if they find out that Subaru is being held hostage narrative that Otto was trying to sell. And in the light novel, he does explain that they did freak out, but they agreed to calm down with the expectation that Subaru would be able to escape. So it works twofold. The villagers get to pay back Subaru after he is constantly helping them, and they get to let him know that they are okay. He doesn't need to worry about them, especially when his own safety is at risk. Keep going straight and you'll find the barrier. What about everyone else? We can buy enough time for you to escape, no problem. A roar freezes them in place. Suddenly, an upheaval knocks them off of Patrichet. The ground shakes and Subaru looks up to find a giant beast. Garfield? I'll do as you say, so please, don't hurt anyone else. Garfield raises his claw. You complete idiot! Subaru is pushed out of the way as Otto disintegrates. Subaru is thinking about Frederica's transformation. She could still talk and think and all of that. So Subaru thinks that he can still reason with Garfield. And it's not a bad thought process, but it just doesn't work in this case. Another roar sends Subaru flying backwards. Stay away from Subaru, you monster! Stop! Patrichet grabs him and starts to drag him away, but it's not fast enough. Subaru witnesses Garfield kill one after another. Stop it, please! No one needs to die but me! That's enough! That's enough, Patrichet! She stops and throws him across the barrier as Garfield crushes her beneath his arm. As Subaru hits the barrier, the crystal around his neck activates, teleporting him back to the same room he was imprisoned in. Wait, I clearly have not been paying attention to this crystal. If he's had it on him this whole time, why didn't it teleport him when he crossed the barrier in the last few loops? The way it looks, as soon as he hits the barrier, it just teleports. And that's the way it worked the first time they came through, and that's the way it's working now. But that doesn't seem like that happened in the last few loops. So did he not have the crystal on him? Or what's happening here? But if he is able to leave the barrier with the crystal, then why did he take Garfield's with him last time? Maybe it is actually different enough that Frederica can notice the difference between hers and Garfield. I'm not sure. So sure, I'll let that one slide. But the crystal that keeps teleporting seems to... Topei just seems to throw it in and out of the story, depending on whatever is convenient to him. So I did say before that Garfield could handle all of them himself. And it is crazy to me that the Arlen villagers are completely okay with just stepping up to Garfield's transformed self. And I can't even say that they didn't expect him to attack. They just watched him kill Otto. I think that just goes to show how much they care about Subaru. He's done a lot for them. From their perspective, he's risked his life to save them twice. Once with the witch beast in the forest, and once with the attack on their village. I don't know how much detail they know about it. I think that's all they really know, is that some group was trying to attack them. So they've seen him do all of this for their sake. So either they have a lot of love and respect for him, or they're fucking stupid. I don't think that's the case. I think they just have really massive balls. Okay, two things from the light novel. One, Subaru tries to bite Garfield, which goes about as well as you would expect. He loses some teeth in the process. Two, Garfield jumps past the barrier to try to get to Subaru before he teleports. It happens really fast, so Subaru doesn't make a big deal about it. But now we know for certain that Garfield can get himself through the barrier. Maybe it's because he's transformed. Maybe it's because it's just a little bit of distance. Maybe this was just a special event. We don't know for sure. But we do know that Garfield is able to mentally get himself to leave. Why am I here? It's morning. Damn it, how long have I been asleep? Subaru steps outside and finds the forest covered in snow. What's going on? I have to get back, whatever it takes. Subaru makes it back to town, but no one is there. It looks as if everyone has vanished. This is exactly how the web novel looked in the last loop, except for the snow. For some reason, the web novel doesn't have the snow. While walking in a field, a white rabbit appears in front of him. The anime makes it look like he is trying to leave Sanctuary. I mean, he's not by any buildings or anything, he's just walking in a field. And that's where he sees the rabbit. In the light novel, he sees the rabbit while he's still in town. My guess is that the anime took the web novel version where he is trying to go to the graveyard. Why is there a rabbit here? He reaches out to pet it, when suddenly his hand flies off. Subaru screams in pain. He looks up to see the rabbit devouring his finger. A leg is severed, causing him to lose balance and fall down. Two more rabbits appear by his now disconnected leg. Terror sets in as more rabbits surround him. More and more, until the field is full of them. All of them rush Subaru at the same time, biting, chewing, eating every part of him. Subaru screams until there's nothing left. The fourth death. Jesus fuck. This scene is terrifying. And I know I've said it before, I'll probably end up saying it again. There are three great witch beasts that are known for how terrifying they are. The white whale was one, and this is another. This is the Great Rabbit, and this is what killed him in the last loop in the web novel. And let me tell you, the anime is extremely tame compared to what's described in the novels. How much do I need to censor this? They eat him from the inside out, going in through the mouth and the anus. The anime does actually show snippets of them crawling under his skin. And I included an image of it back when I was describing it like 2 seconds ago. But the focus is definitely on the outside. And I can understand why they didn't want to animate rabbits going up his ass and then fighting the rabbits that went down his throat. And I want to point out one thing that's easy to miss. Everyone is missing from Sanctuary. That includes people, that includes animals. I'm pretty sure there's not even any sounds from bugs. So when the rabbit shows up here, this is the first living thing that Subaru has seen since he was teleported. So his confusion does make sense. One more for the list here. This is the second Great Witch Beast that Subaru has fought in the span of like 2 weeks. This is the Witch Beast that Crochet fought a while back that gained her a lot of fame. She gained a lot of political influence for fighting it without losing any troops. Not beating it, just pushing it back. And this thing is considered to be immortal. So Subaru is pretty fucked. Like I said, we're not even halfway through this arc yet, so there's still more problems to come. Not many more, but still. And I think at this point it's kind of safe to assume that the reason why Sanctuary is empty is because of the Great Rabbit. Which means there is now a time limit for solving the problems at both the mansion and Sanctuary. So next time we'll go over the web novel version because it's pretty different than this one. Anyway, see ya.